Omnia was founded in 1953 and manufactures explosives, fertiliser and general chemicals.
Right, and it does so from a big plant that it has down in the Vanderbijlpark area where their main plant is. They take a feedstock from Sasol and manufacture those three things. As you said, they're explosive, open cast, agricultural goods, and then a tag on Protea Chemicals business.
Market cap 12.1 billion rand, PE of 12.6 and a dividend yield of 2.7%. Does the story change when it comes to Omnia?
Unfortunately, doesn't change much. Look, Omnia is slightly different, and certainly they had spectacular years up until a couple of years ago where the share price went through the roof, earnings were fantastic, and then all of a sudden they hit a big speed wobble and the share price came under enormous pressure, and it hasn't really recovered since then. Some of their divisions are actually doing quite well, but broadly speaking they fall into the same pot as AECI. You know, they do a lot of agricultural stuff that's actually doing reasonably well.
I was going to allude to the diversification
yes,
there.
It's much more
that
diversified.
Agriculture could actually be the bright spot in the story for Omnia versus an AECI.
Yes, very much so. But I mean, this particular year, agriculture doesn't look so hot because of the lack of water. So there's a bit of a drought in a few areas. But over time, it is a more diversified, it is a more stable company. I mean, there's been some very funny accounting entries with share plans and share schemes and write-ups and write-downs, and they are diversifying. They're actually doing quite well in their diversification, but the same macro principles apply, I suppose.
Well, anything else to add
Look,
on
this is an
Omnia?
extremely well-run business. Rod Humphries has really done a superb job. A couple of years ago, they did a capital raising in order to expand and build a new nitric acid plant down there in Sasolburg, Vanderbijlpark. That worked spectacularly well. Agriculture was flying. They were exposed only to open cast mining because they make that kind of explosive, not the high intent explosives that you use and put into holes like you have with detonators in the deep level mining environment. So they really were in the sweet spot. The downturn came partly because of the weakened commodity prices, even for the open cast mining guys, and this agricultural slowdown that Wayne's referring to. The chemicals business, on the other hand, has always been a bit of a battler. But I don't know. The noise factor that Wayne mentioned about share thing was a share scheme issue where the management team took advantage of a lower price to rebase their own in levels, which seemed a bit gratuitous in my opinion, but you know, it's kind of water under the bridge
Let's
now.
get the share price up again.
Really on fire, right up to above 220, and then it recently has fallen back to around 170-ish and there around.
So we're not overly enthusiastic about this story.
Unfortunately not, no.
Reading between the lines.
You've got to get a pickup in commodity prices, in mining, in agriculture. Everything's got to really turn around. Look, they are trying to expand the business, but they're still subject to exactly the same factors as all the other chemical companies.
Paul?
Look, I think the turnaround in agriculture could come sooner because that, of course, just could be an issue related to weather. But yeah, I'm also going to go with not hot for now.
Not hot, not hot, not hot.